Hello, welcome back. Naming things while writing code is considered to be the hardest things, and bad naming can lead to code which becomes harder to understand as time goes on. So in this video, we are gonna be looking into naming conventions and better naming techniques. Meaningful naming is all about using names for variables, methods, and classes that clearly describe their purpose, making your code self-explanatory. Here's an example of a bad variable name. A. It doesn't tell us anything about its purpose, leaving us puzzled when we encounter it in the code. Now, let's look at a good example, player health. With a glance, you know it's related to the player's health. But it's not just about variables. Meaningful naming extends to methods as well. We have a method named doSomething. It's vague and doesn't hint at its purpose. Instead, we can have a method named dealDamage. It's clear and tells us exactly what the method does. When naming things in clean code, here are some important points to remember. Be descriptive by using names that accurately describe the purpose and usage of variables, methods, and classes. Avoid ambiguity by removing out confusion from your names and ensuring that they leave no room for misinterpretation. Now that we understand the importance of meaningful naming, let's talk about naming conventions. They are a set of rules and guidelines that dictate how names should be formed in your code. They help maintain consistency and make your code base more predictable. Let's explore a few common naming conventions. Pascal case capitalizes the first letter of each word without spaces or punctuation. For instance, let's take an example, user age. Here, we can see that the first letter of the first word, U, is capitalized and everything else is lowercase until the next word, age, in which A is capitalized. Similarly, kill player. Here, we can see that K and P are capitalized and everything else is lowercase. Camel case starts with a lowercase letter and then capitalizes the first letter of each subsequent word. Also, it's recommended to add an underscore before the name for camel case. For instance, let's consider the name is user dead. Here, after the underscore, the first letter of the first word, I, is lowercase, and the first letter of the second word, U, and the first letter of the third word, T, is capitalized, which creates a smooth and hump-like transition, similar to the back of a camel. In C#, it's a common practice to use Pascal case for public variables, and both public and private methods, and camel case for private variables. Here we can see how the public field is using Pascal case, while the private uses camel case. Methods, as mentioned, always use Pascal case both when they are public or private. While writing code, being consistent in your naming can significantly improve the clarity and maintainability of your code. By following these conventions, you make your code more predictable for both yourself and your collaborators. It becomes easier to understand, debug, and extend your projects. Your commitment to clean and consistent code will be the key to smoother development experiences. Happy coding, and I'll see you in the next video.